What if the real solution to Africa's migration crisis is not more boundaries, but stronger countries? What if millions of Africans leaving their homes every year is not a sign of opportunity, but a sign that something is deeply broken across the continent? Every year, thousands travel to South Africa searching for work, safety, and a better future. Some succeed, some struggle, and some become trapped in cycles of resentment, discrimination, and xenophobic violence. But beneath the emotions, beneath the politics, beneath the anger, lies a difficult question many Africans are beginning to ask. Why are Africans running away from Africa? Why must young Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Congolese, Somalis, Ethiopians, and others leave their own countries just to survive? And could the real answer be this? South Africa does not hate Africans. South Africa is simply saying, go back and build your country. Tonight on Kann Media Group, we examine one of the most controversial conversations shaping modern Africa. After the fall of apartheid, South Africa emerged as one of Africa's strongest economies. Modern infrastructure, advanced banking, industrial capacity, large corporations. Compared to many African countries struggling with instability and unemployment, South Africa appeared full of opportunity. Naturally, migrants arrived from across the continent, from Nigeria, from Zimbabwe, from Somalia, from Ethiopia, from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Many came not because they hated their homes, but because home was failing them. The truth is uncomfortable. Many African countries are rich in resources, yet poor in leadership, infrastructure, and industrialization, including opportunity. Young people graduate without jobs. Electricity remains unreliable. Corruption weakens institutions. Politicians make promises while citizens lose hope. As a result, migration becomes survival. People do not abandon home because they enjoy suffering abroad, no. They leave because they believe they have no future where they are. And this is where the deeper tragedy begins. Africa loses its brightest minds. The doctors leave. Engineers leave, entrepreneurs leave. The very people needed to transform their nations often end up building foreign economies instead. Many South Africans argue that their country cannot carry the burden of the entire continent. South Africa itself faces high unemployment, crime, housing shortages, poverty, economic inequality, and millions of South Africans are also struggling. So when migration increases, tensions rise. Some South Africans ask, why should our hospitals, our jobs, our schools, and businesses carry pressures created by failures in other African countries? To them, this is not hatred, it is frustration. And many believe African governments should focus less on exporting people and more on building functioning economies at home. But frustration can become dangerous when it turns into violence. Across the years, xenophobic attacks have erupted in parts of South Africa. Foreign-owned shops looted, migrants assaulted, communities divided. This violence damages Africa's image and weakens the dream of Pan-Africa unity. Because no matter the frustrations, violence against fellow Africans cannot become normal. There is a difference between demanding immigration control and attacking human beings. Perhaps the biggest lesson from this crisis is this: Africa cannot keep depending on a few countries while the rest collapse economically. Real African liberation is not merely political independence. It is economic transformation. And it means building industries, creating jobs, supporting entrepreneurs, fixing electricity, investing in education, fighting corruption, and of course developing infrastructure. Because when countries work, people stop running away. Imagine a continent where Nigerians thrive in Nigeria, where Zimbabweans thrive in Zimbabwe, where Congolese thrive in Congo, and migration becomes a choice and not desperation. This is the Africa many dreamed of. So maybe the message many South Africans are not sending is not "we hate Africans." Maybe the message is Africa must stop failing Africans. Because no country, no matter how developed, can sustainably absorb the frustrations of an entire continent. The future of Africa cannot depend on migration alone. It must depend on rebuilding African nations from within. So what do you think? Should Africans stop depending on countries like South Africa and focus more on building their own nations? Or should richer African economies carry greater continental responsibility? Should Africans stop depending on countries like South Africa and focus more on building their own nations? Or should richer African economies carry greater continental responsibility? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Kann Media Group. Because the future of Africa will not be built by escape. It will be built by transformation. And watch out for our next explosive documentary. You do not want to miss it.